near civilian life.
They enjoyed it, you know. And if whatever military, of course, being a professor of military science, I did certainly have to go to the various universities, Eastern University, to Fort, what is it, Fort, there in Chicago, Illinois, Benjamin, or I can never know. Anyway, I got to go over there, this was when my command was over there, and I'd go, I have to go back and forth. And I dealt with the military out of TACOM sometimes, and then Southfield National Guard base, and I always dealing with them.
So, let's say now you're at the University of Detroit as a professor now. Did you find it transitional? I mean, difficult dealing with students, or did you run into any? Let's say I was doing the Vietnam era. Did you run into any hostility, or so-called mild hostility?
No. Most of those fellows that were coming, people were coming back. They were interested in their education. They weren't rioting or anything like that. They're basically, they got their education, and of course I could relate to them, and they could relate to me. So we had a very good program going over there. I guess I had a lot of things going on I wasn't aware of, and we had Secret Service people that were there all the time on campus, and they were monitoring everything, and I did know a lot of that. I didn't know a lot of stuff.
Sure. Yeah, but you didn't get any flack from your students. I mean, that's a civilian students.
No. I think that's just, there was one factor, but at that time, girls were not permitted into the ROTC program. And we professors felt that why not give them a chance?
Sure.
So we began petitioning the Fifth Army commander to give them to probation some of the young ladies and see how they could do it. Well, in my second year, I was able to recruit 3 girl students into my ROTC program, which is really unique. Girls, once they got in there, they did as well or better than the fellas. Sure. So when I left the ROTC program, the girls, when they did graduate, they invited me to come back to the graduation, I felt good right about that. And after that, they started letting the ladies. There were all kind of programs the ladies were not permitted into. Phi Delta Kappa. You have the education of Phi Delta Kappa, educational and professional educational fraternity. Fraternity. And that wasn't a fraternity. It was an association. Women were not permitted in that thing. And the professor that got me into it, is Professor of Military Science. And one of the things he told me, ladies were not permitted. Well, after we got in there, and doors are opening all over the place for ladies. Well, the lady that my predecessor, the person who preceded me, was a woman because I recruited her. She was one of the professors at the university. So we opened some doors for the ladies.
Okay. Now you're at the University of Detroit and you were teaching. So how long? Let's say you exited the Army in 1978.
Right. So we had that from there. I went into the Lance Missile Program out to the Michigan Missile Plant.
Okay.
There in Warren, Michigan.
Okay. When did you go there?
I went there about 75.
Okay. So you were a teacher up to a few years.
Yeah.
And then you went. Just tell that story. And how did you get involved?
Well, I didn't want to leave Detroit if I possibly could keep coming. And Washington decided they had that opening out there to the Lance Missile Program, and they needed someone to head it up. So, and I talked to the Ordnance Corps, and they went to the Pentagon, and they assigned me to the Lance Missile. So I was able to accompany the Lance Missile. And we were building Lance missiles, and so we were down. It was a Harry Proving Ground. I'm sorry, it was Redstone Arsenal. Okay. That's where the command was located. Okay. And so responsible to you remember the Lane Tinkle LTD Corporation?
Yeah, I remember that.
The LTD Lane Tinkle, they were out there. So I worked with those civilians and to get those missiles built, quality control, get them out the door, reposition all over the world.
Okay. What state is Redstone? What state is Redstone?
Alabama.
Alabama. Okay. So was the Lance program in Alabama? Is that Redstone?
No, the headquarters for the Lance program was in Alabama.
Okay.
There was just one program. It was only one.
Okay. were assigned to the Lance program, where were you stationed? What state was it?
I was stationed out here in Detroit.
Okay, so you stayed here in Warren?
Yeah, right here, yeah.
Okay.
I could live in my same house and for the professional military science. I just traveled to Warren on my side.
Okay.
Out there.
Okay. All right. So what was that like as far as, once you left, USD and you sort of came back to the military?
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like?
We're still working with civilians. At the Lane at Vault Corporation, I worked with the civilians.
Oh, okay.
Of course, the person in charge of the operation works with all the different missile stages and all the different people that are in key positions over there.
Okay. All right. And was that your last assignment?
That was my last assignment.
Okay.
They wanted, at the time, they asked me if I wanted to continue in the military after an assignment there, and I was lieutenant colonel, and I had a family, and I think I was ready to retire. And so I said, well, rather than, I know if you continue with the military, I was going to send me to Germany as a battalion commander, and then go to command general. And I said, well, I've had my 20 years, and then of course the General Motors, when I was there, made me a proposition I couldn't refuse. So I said, well, I'm going to retire. I retired. That's at that time I retired from the military.
Okay. So you retired from the military and you retired here in Detroit, Michigan.
Retired here in Detroit, Michigan, right?
All right. And just how'd your family feel about you, going into this new legal, basically retiring from the military, and were there any issues, or was it?
No. Everybody we had some wonderful experiences in the military, but it was time for career change.
Okay.
And sometimes you get to a point in the 40s you want to make a career change. That was my time to career change. So I went to work for General Motors, retired from General Motors. And I got out of retired from General Motors. I went to go back to my old community over in Detroit. And I went to work for the Detroit Board of Education.
Wow.
And I retired from the Board of Education at teaching middle school. So that was my different 3 careers.
Well, that's pretty
That was it.
In the military, did you form any lifelong members? I mean, friendships?
Friendships.
Do you still kind of any contact with anyone?
There's an association, sort of we get together from time to time. We're always calling each other because whenever we travel through an area, if there's a military installation around there, there's some fellows that are retired around that area. You just, it's like a camaraderie.
Okay, I know you're a member of some military organizations, but what's the name of some of them?
Well, not really. I've kind of gotten away from that.
Oh, okay.
From military, there's military organizations.
I mean, I know you're a member of the Southfield Veterans.
Southfield Veterans Commission, of course.
You're the vice chairman of that.
Yeah, I had that. And of course, I work with the Southfield Veterans Organization.
Right, okay.
They take on the veterans.
Right.
But to actually go and, of course, I'm a member of the
Service organization.
The very service
organization. Yeah, that's right.
I'm a disabled American veteran, of course.
Right.
Veterans of foreign wars, of course.
Okay.
And that's.
Okay.
I thought you, okay.
I'm at the service organization.
Service organization, yeah.
And also.
In support of the military.
Right. Okay, well, in closing, let me just ask a global question. Let's say your experience in Dun Rep, which was kind of like a wartime thing, did that affect you in any way? How you in Vietnam too, and also Dun Rep. Did that those wartime environments, that they affect you in any kind of way?
I think it affects anybody. I haven't been in those situations, but luckily I don't lose any sleep over it. Okay. I think back on the situations and think about the combat. It doesn't, it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
That was then, now it's not.
Okay.
And life is as usual.
Okay. Did you, as far as life lessons, from your military service, you have a long, a good career there. Are there any life lessons that you carry with you today?
Yeah, sure. Organization is one thing. I mean, you